Hello and welcome back to the last episode of this series or this course. We are going to look at the whole process today from where we left off with the conceptual model, which looked a little bit something like this. So we're going to proceed with the logical modeling and all of the steps that are involved in that. Most of the work, as you've probably seen during the journey that we've been on together, has gone into creating the conceptual model. The logical model has a few steps that are a bit tricky, such as normalization, and a lot more work goes into actually creating attributes and figuring out the relationships, as well as creating additional entities. So, as you see on the screen, this is the last model we had. It has the customer, the employee, a sale, a vehicle, and a service, because this is the requirements that was put to us as a developer. Now, let's see which steps we should start with. So, the first thing to do here is to break up all of these many-to-many relationships. Now, in the previous picture, we had many-to-many relationships between sale, customer, employee, and vehicle, as well as between vehicle and a service. So, how can we then break those up? It might be a little bit hard to see here, but what I have done is at the top left, let me see, over here you have a customer. At the top right, over here, you have an employee. And they go into an entity that we've chosen to call sale occurrence. The reason for us to put this in is because we don't want a many-to-many relationship. So each sale that gets done is going to have one sale occurrence. So a sale occurrence has one and only one sale, but the sale can be part of one or many sale occurrences. Now, this solution allows us to create a fully functioning logical model as per the normal forms. So, vehicle, employee, customer all connect to sale occurrence. Sale also connects to sale occurrence. So we put this in here as a way to eliminate the many-to-many relationship that we had. So what about vehicle and service? Well, it's pretty much the same over here. So here we got a vehicle, we got a service occurrence, and then a service. Because of course, a vehicle can have many services and a service can be done on many vehicles, but each sale occurrence is only going to include one and only one vehicle. So by doing it in this way, we've managed to break up the many-to-many relationships that we had. That being said, step 2 after this is selecting primary keys for all of our entities that we will connect them with, and placing the primary keys as foreign keys inside of the other entity tables. Now, we're also going to include step 3 here, which is add attributes that we want to save information around. So take a look at this picture again then. So what have we done here? Well, over here in customer, we have a customer ID as we've always had. And that customer ID is placed inside of the sale occurrence as a foreign key here down at the bottom. Now we also have an employee ID who's also placed as a foreign key inside of the sale occurrence. And then we have a sale ID who's actually placed as both a foreign key and a primary key inside of sale occurrence. When you place a foreign key as this is as a primary key, it means that these two entities are connected by the same unique identifier. So we've also of course taken a registration number, which is the primary key of the vehicle, and we've also put that as a foreign key inside of sale occurrence. Here we've also looked a little bit at attributes. So picture of that, but I'll show you later. Basically, we've gone through a list of things that might be interesting for the actual entity to spare information about, such as in previous videos where we talked about zip codes and towns, those being connected. We might not be interested in storing, I don't know, if it's grassy or rocky in there, but we might be interested in storing the actual town name so we know which zip code belongs to which town. What we've done is we've actually done stuff like color of a car, transmission of the car, fuel type of the car. We've looked at passenger capacity of the vehicle, the amount of horsepower the vehicle has, stuff like that. So moving on to step 4 then is to normalize your diagram or model. Now, I've done 2 videos on this previously, so if you're really interested in diving into this, I suggest you go and watch them. So I'm not gonna go too deeply into that, more than to say that we've absolutely normalized our diagrams over here. So we can move on to step 5, which is to make sure that the model can do what we were asked to do. What we were asked to do is to be able to make a sale, keep track of customers as they relate to employees, look at vehicles and inventory, and make sure that we don't send out advertisements for vehicles which we've already sold. So all of this is done through this picture right here. So because of the fact that we have customer and employee connected in a sale occurrence, we're going to be able to pull out which employee interacts with which customer. And the same goes for vehicles. As soon as a vehicle gets put into a sale occurrence, we can match the vehicle table against the sale occurrence table and see which registration numbers have been sold and which registration numbers are still available to us. Now, this is something that we are going to look deeper into inside of the next course, which is going to be basic SQL. But for now, this model is going to do just fine for our transactions. Now, step 6 is to check foreign key values to make sure that they are unique. If you're using a numeric value, most of the time it's absolutely sure it's going to be unique. This is more like if you have a composite primary key on the other end, you want to make sure that the composite that you've chosen has a full integrity and that it does not reference something else. So, for instance, we talked about in the last video about name and surname, street and street number. Those combined is going to give you a unique primary key, but a name and a surname is not going to. So make sure you check your foreign key values. Step 7 is going to be to go to the customer and show what you have done, and then get the go ahead to proceed. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is to document your process. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching this course with me. We are going to introduce the next course in the coming week, I think. So we'll start with SQL and your database implementation. And we're going to be working from this example in there as well. So I hope to see you then, and thank you for watching.